Good evening. Come unlock the unknown with us and enter the Chamber of Shadows. My name is Selene, and with me here is Endora.
Hello.
Beautiful. So, I want to get started today. I know you know what we're doing, but I'm going to do my intro anyways.
Do it, do it.
Perfect. So, nestled in the heart of New Orleans is the site of a structure that has seen horrendous crimes. Though the building has been rebuilt due to the original suffering from a fire and a mob, the echoes of the dead are said to still inhabit the space. You may hear screams, chains rattling, or even witness apparitions when passing by. Some claim it is the victims of the cruel woman who the building is named after. Others claim it is the woman herself. So, let's take a look at Madame LaLaurie herself, her horrific crimes, and the hauntings of LaLaurie Mansion.
Woo! Yeah, she's a serial killer.
Yeah, no,
Mm.
seriously. I wanted to talk about LaLaurie Mansion. Um, A, because I have known about it for years, but also B, because I was just in New Orleans for Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
I have seen this building, I say a couple times. I've been to New Orleans twice, but I've seen it when I've been there, and it is a very like looming structure. Ha- have you seen it? You've been to New
I
Orleans,
have
right?
seen it. I have seen it from the outside. There were no
Yes.
tours when I
No, no,
was
no,
there.
no. Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Um,
Nick Cage owned it Nick Cage
when you were
owned it
there.
when I was there. So yeah. He wouldn't
Okay.
let me in. I knocked, but he was like, "Nah, girl. Nah,
He's
I
like,
don't know
nah.
you. I know
Oh
what you're
my
here
god.
for. Hit the bricks, lady."
Yeah, literally. Oh, well, I wanted to start with Madame LaLaurie's history herself. And I know I kind of mentioned this in the intro, but she was very cruel. She was evil. So I just really want to make that clear, and it will be made clear as well once I get to kind of the things that she did. So, without further ado, Madame Delphine McCarthy LaLaurie was her full name. So she was known as a New Orleans socialite and a notorious enslaver. She was born on March 19th, 1787, in a wealthy family. She was married a couple times. So her first husband was when she was 14 years old, and this was Ramon Angelo. He was 35.
Ew.
Oh, yeah. He was an officer of the Spanish crown and second in command to the Louisiana governor. They got married in the year 1800. He did hold some resentment towards the crown as his wife had died, his previous wife had died on the voyage from Spain as he asked for a postponement and was denied. He began acting out in rebellion, which is what led to his death in 1805, leaving Delphine, who was pregnant at the time. She gave birth to her first daughter not long after his death, and she did actually name her first daughter in part after Ramon's deceased wife.
Interesting.
Yes. So she was living in Havana at the time with him. So she returns from Havana to New Orleans soon after and found it was no longer under Spanish or French or sorry, it was no longer under Spanish of French rule, but American ownership. So that was her first husband.
How many times? How many times was she actually married?
Three.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And how did it doesn't did you tell me how he died? Like I don't think it says.
I don't think I found exactly like how he died. Like in the research that I found, it just noted that he died due to whatever rebellious acts that he was doing.
So they shot him? Is that what we're
It had
Okay.
to have been something like that.
Okay.
So she does quickly remarry. So this is husband number two. This is on her 20th birthday in 1807. She marries a Jean Paul Blanc. He is an older Frenchman and widower. She obtains the estate from her mother's passing, and it is noted that Blanc was a ruthless businessman in shady, unethical activities and was even associated with pirate brothers Jean and Pierre Lafitte.
Not Jean Lafoot. What?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I
So
mean, she's just hanging out with shady people, like on
she is.
purpose.
She
Okay.
is. Yeah, absolutely she is. So they were actually married for 10 years. During this time, they purchased a two-story townhouse and produced four more children.
Oh, yeah. That's 5 total, right? 5. And they're all
Yes.
girls?
It didn't, I don't think so. I don't think
Okay.
it was all girls.
Okay.
So he passes away at 50 years old and leaves her with debt equating to $2.5 million in today's money.
Snap. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
we got to get looking for a new husband.
no, literally. And
Yeah.
that's what she does. She renounces community properties to the court and forfeits all mutual assets.
Is she hot?
However,
Is she hot? Like, is she?
no,
No. Oh,
I
okay.
don't think so.
How's she's pulling down all this, all these rich guys?
I mean, her family was wealthy. That had to have something to
Oh
do with
yeah,
it.
yeah. That's true. Okay.
Yeah. So her father passes away in 1824, and this leaves her with more inheritance. Yeah, so she just forfeited all of their mutual assets. Her father dies in 1824. She has more inheritance. But this leads to husband number three, Dr. I'm going to say Louis LaLaurie because he was a Frenchman.
Yeah,
It's
that
spelled,
sounds right.
yeah, it's spelled Louis. I know
Yeah.
sometimes. So Dr. Louis LaLaurie, as mentioned, was a Frenchman, and this was in 1836. He was a chiropractor, and she actually met him during an appointment for one of her children.
Oh, wait.
Yeah,
One of her children needed a chiropractor.
apparently.
How's that work? I don't think you're supposed to be doing that to little bones, but okay.
They don't know that stuff back then.
That's true. That's true. Okay.
Oddly enough, plot twist, she becomes pregnant with his child before they're officially married. Yeah, yeah. At that time, big no-no. Big no-no.
Yeah.
5 months after his birth, they were at a notary negotiation for a marriage contract. And at this time, it's noted that she's worth $66,000. They settle some assets. They make the marriage official at St. Louis Cathedral, which is a beautiful church, by the way. Absolutely stunning architecture. Oh my God. Um, However, this was postponed for 6 months because of their child out of wedlock.
Because she didn't want a big belly at the wedding, or
No, I think there was probably some like religious, I'm sure, and I mean like
don't bring your big old belly into this church. We ain't having that.
no,
Okay.
literally. Well,
Yeah.
remember this is after she had him. This is 5 or 6 months for sure after she had him.
Okay.
So I think they were probably either dealing with that or the church was like, "Oh, you had a baby out of wedlock." Crazy.
Yeah.
So it is noted that this relationship is very toxic. They're fighting, separating, reuniting, fighting, separating, reuniting, the whole spiel. Um, and this is actually when it's noted that she becomes a cruel slave owner. In 1832, she petitions the courts asking for separation on claims that he treats her poorly and beat her once. In 1832 is the year that she moved into the neoclassical mansion at the intersection of Royal and Governor Nichols Street.
Yeah. Wow. So $66,000 then is worth how much now?
That's a great question. 66,000 in 1800s to now. Okay, it's roughly equivalent to a little under 2 million.
Yeah. That's why. That's why he keeps coming back. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is the basic history behind Madame Delphine LaLaurie. Questions, concerns, comments?
Yeah. I just want to know. I just let's get started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as the history of the mansion goes, Madame LaLaurie portrays herself to the outside community as being generally polite and considerate of her slaves and their health. They know that there are slaves dying, but the cause of death were never mentioned. There were these rumors of mistreatment that spread quickly. A lawyer was dispatched, but was unable to find any evidence. So we know how
But
that
they did
goes.
send lawyers out at that time,
Yes.
like
Yes.
detectives, like they're
Exactly.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 100%. So one of the biggest stories there is a recounting that many residents told. It is of a young girl, they estimate maybe 12 years old, and she either fell or was pushed from the roof of the LaLaurie Mansion. There's some stories where, it's believed that while brushing Madame LaLaurie's hair, she hit a snag that led to this unfortunate event. People say that LaLaurie chased her with a whip. And then some people mention that LaLaurie possibly pushed her off. She did try covering this up. However, the police did find her body hidden in a well.
Got you, girl. That's what you get.
Yes.
Yeah.
So again, the kind of research that I found estimated her to be about 12 years old. The name that I found was Leah, either spelled Lia or Leah. Um, it's possible that that could be wrong, but that's the name that some people are throwing out there. So this leads to an investigation where they ultimately find her guilty, Madame LaLaurie, guilty of illegal cruelty, and she was forced to forfeit 9 slaves. However, they were brought back through immediate relatives and returned to the residence.
Oh.
Yes,
Oh,
because
I
what
hate
she
that.
did was she secretly arranged her relatives and friends to buy them and sneak them back.
Yeah. For what? For why?
For why?
Why are you doing that? Yeah.
Right.
Because you're hateful.
You're,
Okay.
yeah. I mean,
Twisted.
for real?
Like, mhm.
This brings us to the big fire and the reveal. So, this is something that, a lot of people are aware of. It is April 10th of 1834. Madame LaLaurie is having a party at the mansion. At this party, a fire breaks out, and first responders find a 70-year-old woman who is a resident cook chained to her stove by her ankle. She states that she started the fire as a way to escape LaLaurie's torture. Unfortunately, her name is not recorded in historical records. I could not find her name. So, LaLaurie is busy saving her furniture at this time. Attendants of the party and LaLaurie were rushed out of the house, but all of the slaves were kept inside. Over the next several days, bystanders attempted to enter the slaves' quarters to ensure everyone had been evacuated. However, they were refused entry, so they broke the door down. This is where stuff starts to get gruesome. So, um, listener discretion advised. What they found were 7 slaves imprisoned in the attic. They featured scars and a horrendous amount of mutilations. Um, this included being tied with spiked iron collars, suspended by their neck, limbs apparently stretched and torn from one extremity to the other, chained, suspended, disfigured, and tortured bodies. Most were unable to hold themselves up or walk and were covered in sores and wounds. One man's face was so beat it was undistinguishable. One woman's back was so wounded her bones were visible. Bottles of blood from extractions of them bones broken and displaced. One woman had a hole in her head that was filled with maggots. The woman was still alive. It's noted that the scene was so gruesome, even the newspaper wouldn't completely cover the details.
That's monstrous. How? Yeah. This is.
Yes.
I mean, it's like a demon possession. Why would you do that? Why? What
Oh,
is?
it's absolutely disgusting. Like I was reading these and I was like, I there's no words, honestly. I mean, um people did note that screams and crying and chains were heard from the house after this event. Locals did think that it was ghosts. However, remodeling years later, they did find bodies under the floorboards as well.
Oh my God! How did? Why didn't anybody? Why was there no odor? Why was there?
Unsure. I don't know if there was a period of time after LaLaurie leaves, which is what I'm getting to, where, it was just abandoned. I believe it was for a couple of years after her before other people start.
Wait, hold the phone. Did you just say after she leaves?
Oh, yeah.
How's she leaving? How's she not in jail? What's
Let's
going
get to
on?
it.
Okay.
Let's get to it.
Okay.
So, they find these slaves, local mob of residents form, and they do attack the mansion. They seek to destroy anything that they could get their hands on. And before officers could disperse the crowd, they did their damage. So it's believed the walls were one of the few things that remained. This house was rebuilt in the 1850s. Supposedly, again, when they were rebuilding, is when numerous skeletons were found in all positions, physical shape, evidence of abuse, and torture still apparent. They dubbed her, quote, the devil in the shape of a woman. And obviously, she's now widely hated, as she should be, and her status is ruined. So, as they're doing this, her house is on fire. People are burning this down. She makes her escape. She had one loyal servant who brought her carriage to the front of the house while chaos ensued. The crowd was absolutely pissed, but she was able to flee. She boards a ship on the Pontchartrain and flees New Orleans with her husband, because remember, they are back and forth. So at the time, they were together. Um, the separation doesn't seem to have been permanent, so he was there. And they flee to Paris, supposedly, heavy on that. And she is never heard from again.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
She went to Paris and disappeared?
disappeared. So some people believe that she died there. The exact date and location are unknown. Some people believe that she might have been brought back to New Orleans to be buried. In 1941, a mysterious obituary plate was discovered in the St. Louis cemetery, reading her name and that she died in Paris. There were apparently letters between her children that speculate the idea of a lingering illness that could have potentially killed her. There's this date of December 7th of 1849. However, none of that is confirmed, so the location of her body remains unknown.
Yeah, it better stay that way or they're going to do something.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh-huh.
I mean, there's good people that might want to do something, there's bad people that could do something. Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah.
She
Wow.
better just stay gone, honestly.
Girl. Also, as far as the guy bringing her carriage around, he probably wasn't a loyal servant. He was probably like,
He was
get this
terrified. He
get
had
this
to have
bitch out of
been.
here. Yes,
No.
you want to leave? Let me help you.
Let me help you.
Yeah.
Literally,
Yeah.
literally. He's like, you know what? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So that is the history of LaLaurie Mansion with Madame LaLaurie. However, there is much more history that comes after. Post Madame Delphine LaLaurie, the house again was renovated, and it was converted to apartments. In 1894, a tenant was murdered in his room. Things appeared to be ransacked in his room, but nothing was apparently missing. Friends claimed he was having complications with, quote, sprites in his house, and they wouldn't let him rest until he was dead. Um, but his friends had previously written this off as his imagination.
Wow.
Yes.
Sprites? Sprites,
Right.
though? Okay.
The house was also turned into an all girls school. This was one of the few mixed schools in New Orleans. However, this was eventually converted to an all girls African American primary school. This is crazy because there were reports of physical assaults that came to light by, quote, that woman.
Oh, wait. I'm what?
Yep,
Okay.
that woman.
Hmm.
Insinuating.
Did you hear that?
No.
Okay. Okay. Sorry.
Aside from this, the house has really changed ownership. It's gone from owner to owner to owner to owner. No one really seems to last more than a few years. And soon no one would want to reside in it. So, since, and I'm going to retract this statement, but since Delphine LaLaurie, no one had lived there for more than 5 years. I know, as you mentioned earlier, Nicolas Cage did own it for a short while. He did have a lot of bad happenings with that house. A lot of misfortune, and he did end up losing the house. He didn't sell it, he lost it.
Yeah.
Um, it, since Nicolas Cage, it did become privately owned. There was the lore that anyone who lived in the home has experienced a tragedy after moving out. This was also the case with Nicolas Cage. Um, One of the previous owners ends his days in an asylum. Another slips into a coma after a bar fight. And Nicolas Cage lost it to bankruptcy. I know the previous owner had purchased it in 2010. However, they did just sell it in October of 2024. The price was not entirely disclosed, but it was listed at $10 million. So this property stands at about 10,000 square feet on a 4,000 square foot lot. So that's a long time for it to go from owner to owner to owner. And this previous owner purchased it in 2010 and didn't sell it for 14 years. That's
Because he didn't live
incredible.
there.
No,
Or
he
she
didn't.
didn't. Yeah, or she didn't
Or
live there.
she, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
They didn't
I
live there. It's easier to own it when you don't live there.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, for sure. And I do know when I had done one of the tours, and I don't know how accurate this is. However, they told us on the tour that the owner at the time, this was pre 2024. So the owner at the time who had owned it for so long, I think they used it as like a vacation house. So they would only stay in it for like, I think Mardi Gras or something for a short period of time. And then the rest of the time, it was basically left untouched. I think they hired cleaners maybe to go in and keep it up. Actually, I know they had to because I get to a part. There was one TV show who did explore this house, and that was
Yeah.
Portals to Hell.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Jack and Katrina. Jack and Katrina were there
That's
too.
them. Yeah, that's Portals to Hell.
Oh, that's right. Is it?
Yep.
Yeah. Is it Porthole or Portal? Yeah,
Portal.
yeah. That was his parents. I remember his parents asking him that.
Oh, I
Jack's
gotcha.
parents. Yeah.
Yes. I did actually watch that episode of Portals to Hell, which I had seen before, but I rewatched it just to kind of, revamp my brain on it.
Yeah.
So,
well, what did you see? Did they find anything different than what you're talking about?
So, yeah, I do want to talk about Portals to Hell before I go over the other like reported hauntings. So, Portals to Hell, Like I said, they were the first paranormal investigation show to set foot on the property, and this was in 2019. I actually don't believe anyone has set foot on it after that as far as paranormal investigation shows go. I obviously don't know aside from that. It was noted on the show that over 20 slaves had disappeared under LaLaurie's watch. 20
That we know about.
that we know about.
Yeah.
They note that there was a first person story. They had lived there in the early to mid 60s. After moving in, they experienced furniture moving, they experienced screaming. She was so frightened as a child that she slept with the lights on, and she noted that she saw a little girl sitting on the corner of the rooftop, legs dangling, and she was an African American little girl.
It hurts my heart.
Yes.
Yeah.
The housekeeper on the show noted that she would not come at night by herself. Katrina notes lightheadedness when she's walking into one of the rooms. The caretaker notes that the kitchen door opens and closes by itself. The little girl is seen in the house. The slaves are tortured in the attic. They use their 3D mapping camera, which I know will cover the equipment and everything used on the ghosts episode of the podcast that we'll do. But essentially, this 3D mapping camera is similar to the mapping for like the Xbox system. And this is where, a person standing in front of it will show up as a person. So it maps their kind of stick figure.
Yeah.
It's actually really, really cool.
It is cool. I hope it's real because I love that.
I hope it is too. And I have noticed on, I'm very picky about the paranormal shows that I watch. So even on the ones that I watch, when they're pointing it at these humanoid shapes, even like a chair that looks humanoid or whatever it is, where I'm like, ooh, like that could be picked up. It isn't. So, I think that's super interesting. So they did map a figure on their 3D mapping camera on the show. They received an intelligent response of how many people were in the room.
What was the answer?
Oh, I think it was 9 or something. It was at the same time that they were mapping this figure, and they're like, oh, like, can you tell us? They were using the spirit box. And they're like, oh, can you tell us, how many people are in the room right now? And 9 came through. I think that was the number, but the correct number came through. And they like counted how many people, and they're like, oh shit, like, yeah, there's 9 of us. In the slave quarters, there was a growl after Jack notes that he sees a shadow. There was a breath in Jack's ear and a shadow walking around. You can actually see like it blocking a light out.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the ladies' parlor, a candle goes out on its own, and there is a knock on the door. They receive knocking responses and footsteps. That is just on the show alone, and these shows are, 45 minutes with the.
Did Jack and Katrina report anything negative or anything following them, or?
I don't believe they reported anything negative following them. I know, which I've heard from obviously different recountings of people who have experienced the house, that it's just an oppressive feeling being in there. Like, which, I mean, yeah, I would expect nothing less from something that saw so much horrendous crimes and torture.
It is very much like they want to be left alone. I feel like, with Nick Cage, he bought in 2007. It was foreclosed in 2009. In 2007, he was a rock star, bruh. I mean, he was doing movies. He was, doing appearances. He was very, and then all of a sudden, just with his career, finances were horrible. Obviously, he was foreclosed on. He owns other properties, but he let that one go.
Yep.
Other properties there in New Orleans.
Oh, he does. Okay.
Yeah.
I knew he owned other ones. I didn't know.
Yeah.
other like New Orleans
I
ones.
don't think he felt like he was drawn to this,
Yes, I
he
heard that as
said.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he felt like he doesn't talk about it publicly at all, but people who are close to him say that he felt like he was cursed, but only for while he was there, because when he left, no more. No more.
That's so interesting. I mean, in New Orleans is just such a haunted city. That doesn't surprise me at all. It
Yeah.
doesn't surprise me at
He
all.
loves New Orleans. He's been going to Oh, did you
Jesus
scare
Christ.
yourself? That's the best thing ever.
No, Chance just knocked the charger out of the wall when he was getting up.
Oh my god. That was so funny.
He like went to go get up and like my charger knocked out of the wall and with the with the headphones on, I like can't hear anything outside of these very well. So I just heard like doodle.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Yeah, anyway, he doesn't discuss it. He doesn't talk about it publicly at all. I'm sure he
Yes, I've
talks.
heard that.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got to get it out. I'm sure he talks to his friends about it, but yeah, he doesn't talk about
Yeah.
it. And it's been a while, and he doesn't feel cursed anymore. So I'm sure Mr. Cage is doing just fine.
Yes. Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
As far as the hauntings reported go, because there's so much more than what Jack and Katrina experienced. And obviously, like, it's so hard to capture paranormal evidence in just one night, anyways.
Yes.
So a lot of people don't
Yeah,
realize
we found that out.
Yeah. Yes.
Multiple times.
Coming soon at Gettysburg.
Just go to the hen house, honey. You'll see all you ever
Yes.
want to see. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So as far as other hauntings that were reported, apparitions are a huge one. I mean, I know even when I was doing my tours, that was the main thing. You know, they're like, oh, look out for, there's this famous picture, I'm sure you've seen it, of this like woman dressed in period clothing, like walking by the front door.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very like classic picture for that house. There was an immigrant dock worker one day who comes home late one evening. He is living in the apartments that it's like the house is at the time. And he is found the stairs to be blocked by a large black man who is bound in chains. He screams at him to move and tried pushing him out of the way, but his hands passed right through the man and he dissolved away.
I have questions about this. First of all, if you saw somebody that was bound and chained, why are you yelling at him? Why are you helping him?
I had that exact same. I was like, why is he yelling? Why are we yelling?
Don't yell at him. He needs help.
Literally.
Okay.
And you go to push him?
Why? It startled him, probably. And he was probably drinking a little.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If he's coming home late one night and he's a dock worker. So that is a huge one. Another one is reports of a woman with long red hair staring down at people when spending the night in the house in the 80s.
It was me.
It was me. Plot twist. Plot twist. You were, what is it, astral projecting or something?
That's right.
Oh my God.
Madame LaLaurie did not have red hair, though, did she? I saw pictures, but they were black and white. Hair. So I thought, yes, same. I thought she was like a brunette, or maybe had raven hair. Or
let me see.
You have to post a lot of pictures. Yeah.
Dark brown hair. Yeah. So I don't think we know who this woman with long red hair is. It's me. It's me. Oh my God. So, some other hauntings include unexplained moans and groans, disembodied screams, burning human flesh, chains dragging, scratching noises under the floorboards, flashing lights appearing from the windows, Passersby report a woman staring at them as they walk by. They experience unseen hands touching them, apparitions in photos, like we've already mentioned, heavy, oppressive atmosphere, temperature changes, and apparitions in the windows as well.
Wow. That's a lot. And I don't doubt that.
No, not at all.
I mean, I'm not saying every claim is real, but I don't doubt that those things exist in that area. Not at
No.
all.
Listen, there's always going to be some embellishment from, if you're going somewhere, your brain is already going to be it's going to be looking for something.
Mhm.
Um However, that's not to say it's not haunted and people don't experience things, because it's very real. Um
Yeah. Oh, I keep talking about him like I'm his stalker or something, but I do remember a story that was told by someone who was at a dinner party with him that his first Nicolas Cage,
yeah.
his one of his first nights spending the night there, he was awakened
Oh, oh,
by
yes, awakened.
I think
Is
that's
there a
right.
D at the end of
Uh,
that?
awakened anyway by muffled screams, and that's what started that whole paranormal thing there.
Yeah.
He Yeah,
And that's common. I
yeah.
mean, that was a report for like people who lived in the house whenever, right? In the school or when it was apartments. I think it was a private residence at another period of time where, a woman and her family was living there. So, yeah, that's a very, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. I mean, that is, I would say New Orleans is similar to Gettysburg in the aspect of it is it has that impression. There is a dark impression on it. Totally separate circumstances, obviously, but
Not totally.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of deaths, a lot of dying. Um there's listen, there's so many places in New Orleans I can talk about. The one woman on the tour that I went on this time, she's talking about this one apartment building in downtown. Um, well,
In the
historic.
French
Yes.
Quarter or in downtown?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like French Quarter, like historic downtown. Sorry. When I say downtown in New Orleans, I'm always like, oh yeah, like Bourbon Street,
Yeah.
French Quarter, or
Yeah.
like things like that.
Yeah.
Because that's downtown to me. I don't think city, but yes, in the French Quarter, there's this apartment building where they can't keep people in it because they're seeing these shadow figures, which also have an episode coming up on everything shadow figures. That's going to be fun. But they're seeing these shadow figures either just standing there or running at them. People are being pushed downstairs. So it's just, I mean, there's a lot going on all around the city there, everywhere.
Yeah.
There was supposedly the notorious serial killer who was there.
The ex
His
murderer?
house, well, that too. Yeah, the axe murderer was there. No, it was, oh gosh, I can't remember his name right now, but I do have it written down because I want to do an episode on it. But it was like, again, he was keeping these young women, these young, I think, prostitutes at the time. And somebody walked in the house one day and his whole family was murdered. Like, it was really weird. And some people claim that he wasn't even the real like person. He was somebody else posing as him. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Wow. Yeah, I can't wait to hear about that.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that at all.
Oh yeah. No, I have it written down. I just need to actually put in the
We'll be
research.
back to
And
New Orleans soon.
yes, I love New Orleans. The culture, the history, like it's just so rich. The food is amazing.
I'm
Like,
here for the food, honey, but
oh my
yeah,
god.
New Orleans isn't really for me, but I am here for the food. I will tell
Oh,
you. Yeah.
I love New Orleans, and this past trip was just even better cuz I had more time there. We did different things. Um it was just amazing. I love the culture there. I love it. The food is just, oh my god. The alligator. Oh, the crawdaddies.
Oh
They're
my
amazing.
God. Yeah. Nowhere
Yeah.
else. You won't get them
Nowhere
that
else.
way anywhere else. Yeah.
No, even in Carolina, I mean, I've had them a couple times here and it just doesn't compare. It really
Yeah.
doesn't.
I love Savannah. I love Savannah, but I will just say disappointed in the gator. Disappointed in the
Really?
gator. Yeah. Yeah.
I briefly went to Savannah, very, very briefly, like was only there for maybe an hour or two, just because we were dropping my cousin's wife off at the airport. And so we stopped in and saw the city and it was gorgeous. But I didn't really, I think we ate at like one of the chain restaurants there. It wasn't like authentic, I guess. But it is gorgeous. I want to do some Savannah stuff too. I want to go back to Savannah.
I want to move to Savannah.
That's crazy because you hate heat.
I know.
So
I know.
miss me with that bullshit.
It's all right, but I'm just saying maybe I could just come outside at Christmas and I could just stay in the air conditioning
Oh,
and then
got
come
it.
out at night. Yeah.
You know, where I'm at is also super historic.
I'm going to pass on that, but thanks. Not because I don't love you.
It's not as hot as Savannah. I mean, it's hot. Listen, it was 80 degrees at like 7 p.m. yesterday. But
That's a big gnaw for me, dog.
oh, but you'd go to Savannah.
In air condition. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. But yeah,
It's
we were there
blasphemy.
in March and it was 80 degrees at 7 a.m. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I've made a horrible mistake. It's terrible. But it's so beautiful. You can't I'm like, that's fine. I'll just go back in my hotel room and I'll see you at 6 when the sun starts going down.
For those of you who are still here, Endora cannot handle the heat. She can't hang. Okay.
It's not.
I live at the beach and she can't hang.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a ginger thing. Sorry.
Oh my God.
So where are we going to find pictures and maybe some ghost vids or something from LaLaurie?
LaLaurie. So I will definitely post some on social media. So Instagram is a huge one for us. TikTok's a huge one for us. I don't know why it just came to me, but I can also start a Reddit. I know like Creep Time posts their pictures on Reddit.
Sorry.
You're fine. So I know like Creep Time posts their pictures on Reddit. So maybe I could do something like similar to that. Great podcast, by the way.
Shout out to Creep Time.
Shout out Creep Time. Yes, I love them so much. But yes, they do something like that where they post their like case files because they're true crime. So maybe I can even do something like that. But for sure, Instagram and TikTok.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
great. So that's where you can follow us. And
Yes.
do we have an email if somebody wants to email us?
It is the chamberofshadows@gmail.com.
All
Perfect.
right. This has been fantastic. That was a great story that you told.
Very, very, very disturbing. I think it's important to talk about though.
She's monstrous. Like,
yes,
I want to say she's mentally ill, but I don't think that she is. I think
she's just
evil.
Yeah.
Maybe demon possessed, you know. It reminds me of the kinds of things that she did. We didn't go into specifically the things that she did, but they were horrible. It reminds me, it's very Dahmer-esque, I think. And I also think he was possessed. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, her stuff
Just
was
my
so
opinion,
bad.
but
Yeah. I mean, her treatment was so bad. A lot of places still don't report on it. They still don't talk about it because that's how awful it was. So, yeah, I mean, truly horrendous. But I do think it's important to talk about so that history doesn't repeat itself.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
With that being said,
you did great, Selene. Great.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Thanks for listening, you as well as all the listeners. And with that, I bid you farewell.
Au revoir. See you next week.